better.
Thanks. Hello, we are the Luehmann Circus.
We are a family of 5 and we like to talk about faith, family, relationships, parenting, and everything in between.
After being married for a little less than a decade, I have realized that there are some things that I wish I would have asked my wife on our first date.
So if you want to know your spouse a little bit better, or if you're dating someone and want to ask the right questions, this is the video that you should watch.
The first question I would have asked my wife on our first date is this: what are you here on earth for?
Right, and we believe that if somebody doesn't have the answer to that, it's not that we want people to have an answer, it's that instead we want people to be able to say, you know what, I'm actually not sure. And so the next follow-up question would be like, okay, what are you actively doing to figure it out? Like, how are you trying to find out what you're here on earth for?
We think that question is highly important because it speaks a lot about that person. What are they passionate about? What are they motivated to do? What is it they love? So it really allows you to get inside their head just a little bit, at least, on a first date, and you get to see kind of the things that make them tick.
Another question I would ask is, what is the most embarrassing moment of your life? Or what is the biggest mistake you have ever made?
Why is that question important, Joanna?
Because if somebody is not willing to share a really embarrassing story, and if they go like, oh, one time I had something on my tooth, they are not comfortable with themselves and they are not comfortable just being who they are. Not only around me, and perhaps that happens because we're strangers, but it just shares with me, like it talks to me about how comfortable are you in your own skin? How comfortable are you just sharing that you're embarrassed sometime about yourself?
It definitely speaks to some insecurities.
Yeah.
And I also believe that it shows that you're probably not being honest. If the most embarrassing thing that's happened in your life is that you had some food on your teeth.
And it doesn't mean that if somebody cannot share a good embarrassing moment, perhaps they can't think of one, but it might give you a little bit of a gauge on how comfortable are they in their own skin, or do they have to pretend to be like, to have it all really put together and really well, and like they don't make mistakes. So yeah.
I think it's completely okay for people to have made mistakes, as long as they don't allow those mistakes to define who they are and to define them as a person.
Right. They are comfortable that they make mistakes. It's not who they are. It's just a mistake. So the third question, and this is not a comprehensive list, there are so many more questions that you could ask, but the third question is, how aware are you of your insecurities and your suppressed emotions, and what are you doing to actively heal those? And yes, I know that that's a super intense question.
That is an unbelievably intense question, and probably going to make the evening a little bit awkward, but sometimes awkward can get you to the places you need to go to see if you want a second date.
And maybe that's not a question that you want to ask on a first date or even a second date, but that is definitely a question that you want to ask at some point. Like, that is a question that you even want to ask still, as you've been married for a long time. Like, what is it? What are your traumas? What are your insecurities? What are your suppressed emotions? And what are you doing to actively heal them? Because if people are not moving towards health, then that is going to end up being projected onto the other person. So I don't want his stuff projected onto me.
And to be honest, there were times in our marriage where it was a little bit miserable because I never opened up and talked about my insecurities. Probably because I never really took the time to know what they were.
If somebody is not willing to talk about their insecurities or to talk about their suppressed emotions, there is only 2 reasons for that. One, they are not comfortable with you, which is probable in a first date and permissible. Or 2, they are not aware of them. And the difference, to know that difference is huge, because not knowing because you don't want to actively pursue that information is problematic. But not wanting to tell you is actually normal.
Maybe if somebody actually shares all that information on a first date, you could probably give them a nice little look like, you're probably oversharing just a little bit. You're making this more uncomfortable than a first date should be.
But that's preferable than not knowing.
I'd much rather have somebody be extremely honest with me than to hold everything back. Once you know the crazy, you know you're in it.
So perhaps before you go on your next either first date or 100th date, you should ask yourself those questions. What were you put here on earth for?
What is the most embarrassing thing / biggest mistake you ever made? And number 3, what are your insecurities or suppressed emotions, and what are you currently trying to do to heal those things?
So we know those questions are a little bit much, but honestly, if you're not asking them, then I don't even understand what's the purpose of meeting people. I don't understand what's the purpose of sitting with people and talking to them if you're not actually trying to get to the core of them.
So what kind of questions do you ask on first dates, or what kind of questions have you asked on first dates that you felt were successful and probably thought-provoking?
Yeah, share with us. And we are interested in seeing, we may use some of those in our next date. So thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you think, and please subscribe, share with your friends, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.